And we're live on the Vegan Hour on Tuesday, July the 10th. This is episode 15, and I'm your host, Harry Bolman, and tonight I'm joined by Trish Haywood, all the way up from Sydney. She drove all the way up here just to be on the show. She's going to drive back tonight. If you believe that, you believe anything I'll say. So the Vegan Hour is sponsored by Vegan Frothers. You can see in the background there, you can get your cruelty-free clothing from Vegan Frothers. And you'll be supporting animal sanctuaries by doing that because they're a not-for-profit organisation. And tonight we are going to be finding out from Trish what it's been like to be vegan 61 years from birth, which is like amazing record. We're going to be finding out about raising a vegan family. We're also going to be finding out about chefs in the raw. But before we get to that, I can see lots of people coming online, lots of names popping up there. Thank you everyone that's come on. Before we get to that, let's just get a few events out of the road. Tomorrow, you want to get down to Elixir Bar at one of their 3 locations because they have $10 nachos. Haha, that's where you want to go tomorrow.
That's where we're going tomorrow.
That's where you're going tomorrow.
Yes.
So it's all venues from 12 noon to 9 p.m, $10 nachos. And then Saturday, there's a couple of events. There is the Canungra Rodeo protest at Canungra Showgrounds at 12 p.m. If you can help out, please go along there because they want to get a lot of people along there to protest against the rodeo. And there's also, you can meet the Animal Justice Party down near, in my neck of the woods, in Currumbin Valley from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. They'll be at the Green Marquee Markets at Currumbin Valley. So that's happening on Saturday. So if you missed the beginning, if you've just come on, I have Trish Haywood here. Trish has been vegan 61 years, all of her life, which makes me feel quite inferior at only 38 years of vegan. Trish has brought along her wonderful vegan family with her as well, which is absolutely awesome. I shared a photo earlier of them all in the background here. And Trish is also the, the creator, writer, director, and producer of Chefs in the Raw. So tonight we're going to be finding out about that, and we're basically going to start with finding out how someone gets to be vegan for 61 years. We're going to start at the beginning. So Trish, you were born in 1957.
Yes, I don't often tell people that, but yes, it is true.
But that is one of the yes. Erdl says, hello, good fellows. Hello, Erdl. Now, how is it that being born in 1957 that you were vegan from birth? How did that come about?
Well, I wasn't born to vegan parents.
Now that's interesting, for starters. Okay, yes. Okay.
But I was born to intelligent, sensitive parents, and when my parents tried to introduce solid food, well, they got to the introduction of dairy and found that I became very sick.
Ah, that's interesting.
And
that would have been at what age? Before 1, probably?
Probably about 6 months,
6
I
months,
would think.
Yeah.
I was breastfed for 2 years, but at 6 months you do introduce solids to a little baby. And when that happened, they took me to a doctor straight away. And amazingly, the doctor said, don't give her any animal products.
This is 1957. 1957. That's a progressive doctor.
A very progressive doctor. Or was he just back in the time when they had a bit more common sense?
Yes, good point.
And said, okay, she's obviously upset by including dairy, so don't give her any. So I wasn't fed any from that point on. And at about the age of 3 or 4, I started asking questions about what people were eating.
Right, yeah.
And like the little children we now see on YouTube, I completely freaked out and cried and screamed and begged my parents to
when you found out
about
the animals being eaten.
To the point where poor mum would have to cross the road if we went near a butcher's.
Wow.
I would get very upset near butchers.
And how old were you? This 3 or 4?
About 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I have a vague memory of being upset about that subject.
Very sensitive about it.
Very sensitive about it.
Wow.
And so the subject of introducing me never came up because, well, the physical situation, the allergies and sensitivities, but also my sensitive little personality meant that it was a taboo subject.
So your parents were meat eaters. This must have been a challenge.
That's right. It was a challenge, and I think they went to a number of doctors, and
hoping that one of them would say that you could eat meat.
I think so. And my mother told me that one of the doctors that they took me to around the 3 or 4 age group said, she's a fussy eater.
Yeah.
Don't worry, she'll grow out of it.
Right. Yeah.
And they were told that a number of times. Right. She will grow out of it. Don't worry. Just feed her what she will eat for now. She won't starve. Yeah. She's just fussy. Well, apparently I'm still fussy.
Still waiting for you to grow out.
Not grown out of it.
And that's great. That's fantastic.
That's right. So and probably about the age of 14 or 15, I really understood the implication of how animals are treated and understood the subject more fully and became a lone militant.
Was it angry at that point as well, or was that come later?
I was angry. I was angry.
So you were the lone militant angry vegan in the village.
I'd never heard the word vegan, and I'd never met anybody like myself. Yeah. And I wondered, did I come from somewhere else? Was I maybe not human?
So that was at 15 or 16. Let's go back a little bit. How was it going through school? So
well, I wasn't primary school. I didn't feel alienated. I just felt that these poor children needed me to explain to them the reality of the situation.
And did that happen at any time?
Like Zoe does now, our youngest daughter. I just patiently tried to explain to everybody what they were eating, and I think I focused more on health initially because I believed myself to be healthier than the other kids. And I didn't start off angry. I just started off trying to explain and help these poor children.
and so you did actually get some kids would listen when you were in
I don't remember any negative effects in primary school.
That's good.
It was high school that the negative effects started.
Really?
And I was called a weirdo quite a few times.
The peer pressure coming on down.
Yes, not that it made a jot of difference to me, but I did. I wasn't friendless by any imagination. I did have a boyfriend say to me, "You're lucky you're pretty, or no one would speak to you." And he didn't last very long.
No. Find a cannon and fire him out of it. Wow.
Yes, that's right.
Jeez.
But my friends, I think, just accepted that I was a little bit different and a bit sensitive and just accepted me like that. But outside of my circle, I did have a few arguments with people. Yeah.
What about at that age group? So you're getting into your teenage years, we're talking about now. What about how was your relationship with your parents? Because,
my poor parents. My dad eventually converted.
Fully vegan?
Yes, because
fantastic. Wow.
The poor man. I think I just wore him down. But my
That's
parents,
the way to do it, folks. Wear them down.
just wore them down. They're very social people.
Yes.
And I would come home from a party or something, and they'd have their table all set and all the people around, and I would. As I opened the door, I could hear, "Oh, here she comes." And I'd walk into the room and say, "Enjoying your stump, people?" and make disparaging remarks about their food.
Geez, I never got away with that.
I'm an only child, so I was a little bit indulged. But
and so, at what age did your father go vegan? Do you remember?
I think he was about 50 at the
Okay.
time.
Wow.
And
what a great influence.
Yeah,
Wow.
he was roughly 50. We lost my poor mum at age 51 from breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
And I think, you know, I think that strengthened my argument in my father's mind. And I did say to him, you better get with the program, otherwise I'm chasing you all around Sydney. And I won't leave you alone. He smoked and drank, and he gave up cold turkey.
Cold tofurkey.
Cold tofurkey, and took up a gym membership, started doing weights.
Fantastic.
And,
wow, what a transition.
Yes.
Is he still with us?
He's not, unfortunately, no. But he was extremely healthy when he passed.
Wow. So he really did turn his life around.
He did completely.
He stopped smoking, drinking, and eating animal products.
And into his 80s, he would walk for 3 hours a day.
Wow.
And
wow, that's inspiring.
Yes, he was very inspiring.
That is inspiring.
Yeah.
So you weren't short of friends, you were saying, in school.
No.
You're quite sociable.
No, I was.
Yeah. And people just accepted that if they were going to be your friend, they just accept the fact that you didn't eat the same thing they ate.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you never felt alienated or lonely?
No, I did, but I think that came in my later teens, after I'd left school. Then I became really quite angry at the world, and I'm more alienated myself.
That's what happens.
And I did go through a period of self-discovery where I eventually decided that if I didn't want to be lonely, I would have to drop the judgment and work out a way that I could live in society and be effective for change without hating everybody.
Yes. Well, yes. I'm glad you came to that.
And I did. And I did.
And it's obvious you did.
There are lots of people I love that are not vegans.
You have a very loving, soft energy. It's obvious you're not angry.
I'm not angry anymore. No,
it's very obvious.
Yeah. So now I call people who are not vegan pre-vegans.
Pre-vegans, yes.
And I don't give up on them.
That's great.
I just.
So, what are some of your little techniques for sort of influencing them? Good vegan food.
Good vegan food. I'm very well known for my vegan spaghetti bolognese, and I like to not mention that it's vegan until people have eaten it, and then they're just blown away.
Yes.
So yes, good vegan food. I do like to trot out some facts. They're generally not overly appreciated, but
just a couple of scary facts, maybe about the health-related facts, or maybe animal ethics facts.
Both.
Both. Yes. Okay. There's been some nice positive comments coming in there. Let me just get that one there. What's it? Karen says, "Thanks so much for sharing this." Donna says, "Amazing, Trish." There's a hi from Asa and a hi from
my friend.
And a hi from. Did I pronounce her name correctly?
Yeah, look, she's very accepting of mispronunciations of her name.
And Donna says hello as well. Thank you everyone for watching and commenting so far. So not only have let's see. So you were going through school in what years was that then? If you were born in the
70s.
In the 60s and 70s, wouldn't it have been? 60s and 70s, yes. Okay, because I went vegan in 1980, so I only was the last 3 years of high school that I had to experience being different. You know.
Yeah, so it is an experience.
Did they have, when you were going to school, did they still, were they supplying the milk?
Yes.
The revolting, stinking milk that would sit out in the sun.
In the sun until 11 a.m. in the morning. And then poison children. Well, my mother wrote me a note.
Yeah.
And, well, initially I took the note and I still had problems. So she marched into the school and said, my daughter will not be drinking the milk.
So awesome that your mum stood up for you.
Yes.
Even though she herself was not following a plant-based vegan.
Such unusual and progressive, sensitive parents. I was
impressive.
Very, very lucky.
You were very fortunate. Yeah. So now you have also raised a vegan family.
I have.
I believe there's about 200 of them.
does feel like that.
I lost count, but okay, I'm exaggerating.
And they weren't always happy about it, I have to tell you.
Really?
No. The
So,
two elder boys.
Yeah. They've been vegan from birth?
Yes.
Yeah.
The older one's 37, the next one's 30.
Okay, 37 and 30.
And they were a little bit resentful for a while.
At what age did they get resentful? Like
I'd say around 13, when they started staying at other people's houses. Of
course.
Up until then, they were okay, but that was the end of me making everything for birthday parties. So I'd not only make the cake, I'd make the lollies, I'd make the little pies, and I'd make all of the food.
Wow.
And that was the end of that. And
really?
And I was asked to be quiet. Please, Mum. Mum, don't talk about it.
But they stuck to their guns?
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
And
there was a complete turnaround.
Because that's where they were hitting the peer pressure then, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
And it's either we stand up for our principles or we fit in to be comfortable with everything.
And I do think back then it was harder for boys because there's that whole masculine thing.
Yeah.
It's better now, thank heavens.
But it's my experience was
males
not
like
particularly
you that have pushed that away.
Yes, but my experience, of course, was that the males around me weren't open to it the way I was, and so I would cop it. But it's right. But nowadays you're right. There are so many aware males.
Yes.
Which is really fantastic. They've got the sensitivity to know what's going on. There's a comment there from Erdl saying, there is another woman in USA who is vegan for 51 years. Woohoo! Called Hannah V. Golan. Wow, that is fantastic.
Good on you, Hannah.
And actually, I posted on my timeline today, I discovered a guy, I think he's in the UK, he's a vegan bodybuilder. He's been vegan 62 years from birth. And I posted some photos on my timeline, which you guys can check out after this live stream, because he's a very fit 62-year-old. He's in the gym and he's just, wow, vegan from birth as well. That's amazing.
Fantastic. I wasn't alone.
No. It's all coming together.
I could have found
it's all coming together.
It is.
For so long, so many of us felt isolated, and what's brought us together has been social media.
Absolutely.
It's been the thing. It's like, oh, hey, they're out there,
Yes. It's been wonderful.
And also pre-social media for me, the internet. Meetup groups. Are you familiar with meetup groups?
I am familiar with meetup groups.
So before I went on social media, I was in meetup groups, and that's where I discovered there were vegan groups as well. So the internet and social media. Thank you, Mr. Internet. So you got two sons, 37 and 30. Yes. And you've got Zoe and Ella sitting off camera over here.
Yes.
Is there a technical term for off camera, or is it just off camera?
It's just off camera.
Off camera, okay. So tell us. So Zoe and Ella, how old are they?
10 and 13.
10 and 13. Okay. So they're at the age where they might be copying a little bit of the peer pressure as well, maybe.
I don't think that it bothers them one little bit.
Great.
No.
Excellent. They know the right thing, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've taken over the mantle of explaining.
Yes.
And not letting comments go by, not letting traditions go by without questioning them and then explaining to the people that they're talking to the reality of that subject.
The strength, the inner strength that builds from doing that is useful in a whole heap of areas.
Absolutely.
So that's really that is fantastic. So what are some of the challenges then that you've found? I mean, that's 4 children now.
Yes.
What are some of the other challenges maybe? I mean, obviously the peer pressure and that, but what about going with a 37-year-old? So, okay, that's 1981?
1980 he was born.
1980,
yeah,
okay.
He'll be 38
He'll be 38 this year,
True.
So he was born the same year I went vegan, so
yes.
Okay, you would have found challenges in getting vegan food and that.
Absolutely. Well, I had to make everything. I don't remember.
But that
any
wasn't
products.
really sort of an issue, though, was it? Because you're happy doing that.
No, I didn't know any different.
Yeah.
I just thought it was normal to make everything from scratch. Yeah. I'd been cooking for myself since I was 15, so I wasn't concerned about that at all.
I get the feeling we're being filmed off camera. Feels weird. So yeah.
Yes, so that didn't concern me one little bit to have to do that, but it was an absolute joy and a blessing when products started to become available.
When did you notice that sort of change where you could start to get products?
Really, not that long ago. I think really only about 5-6 years ago. That you could walk into a large supermarket
and get a good range of things like. There you go. There's a plug for Pure Harvest.
That's
but you know, almonds. You know, a huge range of plant-based milks in supermarkets, mainstream supermarkets now.
That's right. And now we have amazing plant-based cheeses.
Oh yes. Haven't they taken off lately? Yeah, I mean, I haven't tried most of them. I haven't tried most of them, but
yeah, they're too good. Stay away from them, Harry. I'm warning you.
Yes, that's what Harry needs, more food. So yes, I'm thinking back. I'm sort of going back to sort of the earlier days. I mean, really, the 70s and the 80s. Really, you were basically making all the food yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, I've lived my entire life without faux meat. I know that this is a bit controversial. There are a lot of vegans not happy with faux meat. My personal attitude is I'm also gluten free.
Right.
So there's a lot of faux meat I just simply can't have. I'm absolutely pro faux meat, even though I personally really don't eat much of it, except occasionally on at a restaurant. But the reason that I am so pro faux meat is because it's helping pre-vegans transition. And anything that helps them transition is wonderful. Why would you be against something that helps the greater community move towards a vegan future?
Yeah, so it has a purpose there, doesn't it?
It does.
You know? So,
it really does. And they have come to a point where they're virtually indistinguishable from their copyright. And I know a place in Sydney that serves burgers. Vegans go there and keep sending it back to the kitchen saying, "You've sent me a dead animal."
Actually, that's going to be a problem.
Yes.
Because if you go to a place that's not fully vegan, you would be going, well, how do I tell?
Yeah.
You know?
That's right.
I can't tell that the cheese isn't an animal product. I can't tell that the faux meat isn't an animal product.
That's right.
So what do we do now when this happens?
Yes, but it's a good problem.
It's an excellent problem to have. 2 weekends ago, I was up at the new restaurant in Brisbane, Nirvana, and they brought out the guest had a steak, and it looked like a steak. It was amazing. It looked like it, and it was. I tried some of it, and I don't know what steak's meant to taste like, but it tasted good. It was made from Seaton, so it tasted good. But just the way it had been crafted, it was like, wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You'd fool anyone with it.
Yes. Now my family make fun of me when I say, "Oh, it's just like something." What's the chorus? How do you know? Okay, I don't know, but the thing is, if it's good, it's good. What is the problem?
Angela says hello, and Erdl says, hope to see you fellows more frequently in Facebook. I guess Erdl's not talking about me because I'm on Facebook all the time.
Thank you, Erdl.
So I want to know some of the tips or strategies that you would offer to parents wanting to either bring a child into the world vegan from birth, or to educate them so that the child becomes vegan, and then how to sort of help that transition and all that. Do you have some tips and strategies there? Well, got you thinking there with that one.
You have, because for me it's just been an intuitive process. I don't even remember thinking about it at all, except that I was brutally honest. I guess that was my main tactic. I was very honest about about the reality of the animal industry.
Yeah. So you've been brutally honest with your children?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I was factual.
That's good. So does that mean that if somebody approached them at school and said, "Oh, you know," or a school event and said, "You know, try this piece of meat or something," to sort of taunt them, then they would be so well aware of what's involved in getting to that piece of meat that they're like, "No, I'm not the least bit interested in going there."
That's right. And Zoe now faces this subject every day.
Really? Every day?
Because her classmates do say things like that to her.
Yeah.
But she has been provided with the information she needs to come back.
Excellent. That is great. So, so being
honest, I think you have to use the language that's appropriate for the child's age.
Of course.
And you know, not give them nightmares.
Yeah.
But I think you can be factual without traumatizing the child.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. Excellent. Now, before we get talking, I want to find out about Chefs in the Raw and what that's all about.
Yes.
Any other things there with your vegan journey that you can think of? That, I mean, we touched a little bit on how for a little while there you went into your angry phase. So I guess that was angry at the world and what they were doing to animals, basically.
It was angry at the world.
Yeah. So and then you came out of that and you realised that, you know, it's not helping yourself or anyone. No,
well, it was loneliness that brought me out of that because I took myself off to my parents' holiday property on the Central Coast.
Right.
And I didn't speak to anybody for about a month.
Wow.
And it really had a negative psychological effect on me. And so I'm a long-time meditator.
Excellent.
So excellent. I did spend some time meditating, and that was very helpful. And that did bring me to the conclusion that not only am I making myself very unhappy, I'm doing nothing to help the vegan future.
Right.
Being angry is simply alienating me.
Yep.
And I mean, not that I don't have my angry moments. I do. You know, I see a horrible video and I do get angry, of course, but I do my best to then channel that into something that is helpful in some way.
Yes.
And that's how the show came about.
That's good. Yes.
My background was in hair and makeup artistry for TV, film, stage, all genres.
Okay.
And then I started writing and moved into writing for a living. And I got to a point where, I've always written scripts.
Right.
Didn't do a thing with them. They're all fabulous, of course. But I was writing them for my own amusement. And so I thought, write something that's helpful. I have written a few articles and things like that, but I wanted to write something with a bit of longevity. So I wrote this script and just kept it. And at a family function, I was talking about my script apparently ad nauseum because my elder son Drew said, "Oh, for God's sake, Mum, stop banging on about that script and do something about it." So I dried my tears at his harsh tone and thought, you know what, I will. And that was the start of Chefs in the Raw.
Okay, so for those that aren't familiar with Chefs in the Raw, tell us what it actually is about.
Okay, well, it is Australia's first 100% plant-based cooking show.
Love it, love it. And in fact, I'm going to put a link here as we're talking about it.
Thank you.
I'll put a link to the Facebook page. I hope it works.
Very good.
I'll see how we go.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, okay.
So there's two formats for the show. One is designed for commercial TV.
Right. Yeah.
And that one is concentrating on high-end fine dining. We feature a guest chef for each episode and we film them in their restaurant kitchens.
Excellent.
Neither the restaurant or the chef is required to be vegan.
Right, yeah.
But the criteria is that they create something of a gourmet standard using 100% plant-based products.
Yes. Yeah.
We also feature a guest health professional for each episode, who describes the nutritional value and health benefits of the ingredients used in that featured dish.
That's good, yes.
And then we have the online version YouTube version. And that is a much more eclectic show. We will cover everything from restaurants, cafes, home cooks, home delivery services, food trucks. We've got all of those coming up.
Wow.
So
I'm going to be, after tonight's live stream, I'm going to be putting the links to the YouTube videos in the comments here. So guys, you'll be able to go to the YouTube links directly, because there's quite a few episodes there already. I think as you've got is it 4 episodes there now? I think
there might be a little bit more.
Yeah,
than
and then there's
now.
also the introduction of the different presenters and that. You've got some very professional presenters too.
Yes, we have 3 hosts. One is a Northern Beaches chef, Alex Morris.
Alex Morris,
and he is extremely entertaining.
he's definitely full of beans.
He is full of beans. Yeah. We have home and away actress Pip Edwards. Who is a very professional and wonderful host.
Yeah.
And we have our beautiful presenter, Briellen Turton, and she's also very professional.
Yes.
And between them, they cover the different areas of the show.
Right.
Alex, you'll see with the chef. He works in the kitchen with the chef, helping the chef out. Brie, aside from being lucky enough to taste all the food,
that's a job I want.
I know, it's a great job. It's a great job. Brie does your job, interviews the health expert.
Yes.
And discusses that side of things. Pip is our intrepid reporter on the ground, and she is to be found in growers' markets, farms, orchards, showing us the produce.
I saw her in an episode where she was out in the wilds with some vegetable.
Yes,
I can't remember.
That's Pip out in the wilds with a vegetable.
And, is it Briellen?
Yes.
I saw Briellen talking to someone about the essential oils.
Yes. One of the episodes, we do mostly stick to food, but we branch out a little bit. We do have an episode that covers plant-based cocktails.
Yes, I saw that one with Alex.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And that's quite interesting, because that mixologist has come up with a totally plant-based version.
Mixologist.
Yes, that's his official.
Wow. So he came up with a plant-based...
A whole plant-based menu that mirrors the traditional cocktail menu at his establishment, which is the Hold at Manly. And he also uses essential oils in his cocktails.
Yeah, and there's probably no reason why he probably couldn't also do a mocktail version for those of us that don't have alcohol.
He absolutely does mocktails. He does... he also does milkshakes and all kombucha, of course.
Yes.
It's the Hold is a fabulous burger and booze bar.
Right. Yeah.
And it's amazing to look at, because the decor mimics an old frigate. So we've got the wooden concave walls and the old pirate bar. And he has a totally plant-based food menu and cocktail menu, as well as the other side of things.
Okay.
So it's possible for any restaurant to have the other side of things.
Yes, well, it is, and a lot of places are embracing it.
They are.
I just want to get to a couple of comments there that's come up. Angela says, educating children is amazing. It's the future, which was what we were talking about earlier with the kids. Luba says, such a wonderful person you are, Trish, and you look amazing. That was a very nice thing to say. Thank you, Luba.
Thank you.
Let's see. Karen's given us some nice emoticons, or whatever they're called. And Matt says, g'day, Mr. Harry and Trish. G'day, Matt. How are you? Thank you for watching and being a loyal supporter. Love the whole... and how do you pronounce your friend's name?
I say Asa.
Asa,
It's
okay.
not exactly right,
Okay.
but she lets me get away with
Right,
that.
I'm going to say Asa says love the whole Manly, which is the place you're talking about.
That's right, yes. Keith Skinner is the owner, and he is extremely supportive of the vegan community. And yeah, he's done some great things for us.
So how long did it take to go from an idea to actually getting these episodes filmed?
It took about 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
It took a while to get the format right. It took a while to find the right hosts.
Yes, yeah.
And the right crew.
Ah, yes. And was that able to come about because of your connections and your experience in the industry?
Well, some, but mostly no. Mostly because they're all volunteering at this point.
Oh,
until we attract sponsorship. Yeah. They're all volunteering their time.
That's fantastic.
With the understanding that once we do receive sponsorship, that they may be offered paid jobs.
Okay, wow.
So it took a while to find people that were prepared to dedicate themselves, maybe not to veganism, but the idea of the show. Yeah. So they're all supportive of the show itself.
Just your friend's name is actually pronounced awesome.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
That's what she said.
She is awesome. And not only is she awesome, she's very generous, and she provided her beautiful kitchen for us to film an episode. She has a stunning kitchen.
Was that the kitchen that's got on one wall, it's got a surfboard mounted?
No,
that's another kitchen.
Yeah, that's another kitchen.
Yeah. So I saw that kitchen and went, wow.
Yeah. That's actually a sports facility. Called Aussie Gems. They provide all children's sports downstairs, a plant-based spa upstairs, so mum can go and have a facial or a spray tan while the kid plays sport, and they have a full vegan menu in their cafe downstairs.
That's fantastic.
So they've let us shoot there quite a bit. Very lucky.
So so far, how has the chefs in the Raw, when he says, well done, Trish.
Thank you.
How have you been getting chefs in the Raw out to the public?
Well, we are using social media, and we do have somebody that is expert in that subject helping us. That Wendy is my cousin, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't hold that against you, Wendy.
Yes, so we have somebody working on that.
Excellent.
So we have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. So we're covering all of those, and we're all trying to contribute to that.
Okay.
And we have been in talks with a major commercial station. Can't say anything yet because we haven't signed anything. So we have been accepted by one of the big three.
Wow.
And we're just waiting for sponsorship to pay for the episodes to go onto that channel.
Wouldn't that be fantastic, guys, eh?
So please,
wouldn't that be fantastic to see Chefs in the Raw on TV? Yeah, you reckon that would have some influence?
Absolutely.
That would be
absolutely.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Now I noticed when I've been watching Chefs in the Raw that it's always referred to as plant-based cooking.
That's right. We never say the V word.
Never say the V word. Yes.
And I personally am quite a militant person. I support direct action, 100%. But what I found is there is a large hole in the community that do not respond to that type of approach, and so I just want the show to cover the part of the community that needs a more gentle persuasion. So the show is completely designed to demonstrate what is possible and the products that are available, and that we don't miss out on anything. We eat delicious food, nutritious food. We're not weak. We're not lacking in any way.
These are all the things that we know, and we've got to sort of...
We're trying to dispel the myth that vegans eat lettuce. So the show is covering everything from the raw and super healthy to the decadently delicious and even a bit of naughty junk food.
Woo! All right.
I'm not here to make you healthy. That's your job. I'm just here to show you what you can achieve using 100% plant-based
with
products.
the end benefit to the animals.
That's right.
Yeah, along with our health and the planet's health, of course.
That's right.
So I think that is awesome. Yes. So you've got more filming planned and more episodes.
Yes.
You've got. You were saying earlier, you've got a lot of ideas and things you've written down. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
We've got 4 shoots in 4 weeks. Starting from the 23rd of this month. And
4 shoots over 4 weeks?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. So even though we don't have any money at this point, everybody has agreed that we will continue filming for the benefit of the online version of the show.
Yeah.
Because
I think it'd be a really good thing, people, for you people out there that are watching this that haven't seen the episodes. Harry will try and form a sentence here. I feel like I'm going to start that again. If you haven't seen the episodes, get on YouTube and watch the episodes, or get on the Facebook page, because the episodes are on there as well.
The website. You can see everything on the website.
Yep. Okay.
Facebook, we are putting, because we have a couple of different versions. We have a full episodes that are actually designed for TV, but we break them up on YouTube.
Right.
Then we have Kitchen Quickies with Alex, which is simply Alex preparing and demonstrating something easy but delicious that you can make at home. And then we have what's called Quick Flicks. And they're of the style that I'm sure everybody has seen them. It's an overhead camera. There's no dialogue. Chopping is sped up. Nice music.
Yes, I like that. Yeah.
So that's on Facebook. We've just uploaded our first one to Facebook.
So the Facebook link I've provided at the top of this live stream. I've also put in the comments, and afterwards I'll put in the YouTube ones and also the website.
Thank you,
so that'll all be in there. So what I was going to suggest earlier, before I could form a proper sentence, was share it, share it, because this is food activism.
Yes, food activism.
And this is very clever food activism, because it's not using the V word to scare people off, and it's a visual thing which really gets people in.
Yes. Yes, one of our episodes was shot by the amazing West Ashton, who is the DOP for Better Homes and Gardens.
Oh, really?
And he shot it all in 4K.
Wow.
So really, it makes you want to lick the screen. The food looks absolutely gorgeous. And no judgment if
there you go, folks.
Into.
You've got a project after tonight's live stream finishes. You can watch these episodes and you can share them and educate your pre-vegan friends, because you'll be helping everyone, them, the animals, and the planet.
That's right.
So I just want to go back to a question I wanted to ask you earlier, which I never got to, which is being vegan in your entire life, how that's been for your health. Over the years, have you had to sort of go to doctors and have the challenge of them going, sort of, wow, you don't eat meat, sort of thing? And
I've had lots of interesting conversation with doctors and shot them all down in flames.
Oh, yes.
Every single one of them. Once a year I go and I get a blood test.
Right, yes.
I have no health issues.
No health issues,
I've not been lacking in anything over the years.
What about the one that's come up that regular followers of my page will know about, the B12 issues that I personally have been experiencing as a
lot of people do.
Vegan.
A lot of people do.
How has that challenge been for you?
Look, it's been explained to me that because I eat a lot of fermented foods, there's B12 in the bacteria of fermented foods, and probably that has protected me throughout my youth.
So you haven't supplemented, or you do?
I haven't.
You've never supplemented
no,
B12?
I haven't.
Never in your life?
No.
Wow.
Now we can't say what's going to happen at the next blood test, but so far
that's impressive. So what fermented foods have you been having?
I eat sauerkraut every single day.
Right. Yes.
I would like
anyone would think you were Russian.
I know. Good on the Russians.
That's right. Good on you.
Wonderful.
They got something right.
Yes. And kombucha.
In kombucha,
yes.
Yeah.
And I do I like it a bit too much, but it's a bit fattening. But I do love coconut yogurt.
Yes.
Probiotics.
Okay. Yes.
I do take vegan probiotics as well because I have a sensitive digestive system, and I find that keeps it in check.
Yes.
But interestingly, because my mother passed with breast cancer at 51, I was expected to follow in her footsteps.
Right.
I am an outpatient at the Chris O'Brien Life Centre, which is an oncology centre in Sydney. And I do go once a year for my squash boobs test, because the ladies will sympathise with me greatly. And the reason I go is to say, look at this. And this is shockingly, I've had 3 doctors agree with me that I don't smoke or drink, so that helps. But my veganism is protecting me from following in my mother's footsteps.
Fantastic. I hope you guys are paying attention to this. Because this is I mean, the world would be a different place.
Absolutely.
If we were all eating the right thing, you know.
And the first doctor that said that to me, that was quite a few years ago, agreed with me. I said, why don't you tell people this? And she said, who would believe that? I said, everybody, if you told them. And so, you know, we can talk about the medical conspiracy
we could.
And all that stuff. But the thing is, I go every year, and while I do have the same underlying issues that my mother had, I have not succumbed, and I have had no change, and I have, you'll all be happy to hear, very healthy breasts.
And that's the first time on the Vegan Hour anyone said that. Tonight is another first. Angela says, just had blood test, 180 months vegan, no issues. Excellent, Angela. Pleased to hear it. It's been a long day. I'm having difficulty pronouncing words. So no other health issues?
No. I take no medications.
No medications, no supplements, no multivitamins.
I do occasionally take some zinc, C, and magnesium. If I've been working really hard, I do take those because your body uses them up very quickly. You know, if I'm on holidays, well, no, I don't bother. But if I'm really pushing myself, I do take those 3 things and a vegan probiotic. And the supplements I do take are vegan, by the way.
Of course. Yes.
But that's not a constant. That depends on the circumstances. And I just try to be sensible if I'm really pushing myself hard.
I'm impressed at your B12. You've never had to supplement your B12. Wow.
No. And I didn't even realise it was a thing until
recently, like with me.
And so I said to my doctor, oh, you know, you better check that. And the doctor says, it's fine. And I said, well, apparently that's impossible. Can you explain that to me? And the doctor, knowing me, said, I think it's probably all the fermented food you eat. And then he explained to me about it being in the bacteria of the fermented food.
Amanda says, awesome guys, love your work. Thank you, Amanda. So, would you remember, like I know doctors will say that your B12 is acceptable or it's okay without actually quoting a figure. Do you remember a number?
I don't, no.
Because I remember when I had my test and they said, oh no, it's okay. And then it was below 200 and it was like, well, that's not okay.
No, I did. I did watch your episode on that, and I found it very interesting. And so next time I go, I'm asking questions.
Yes, definitely. Especially, did you pick up on the bit talking about B12 where in Japan the minimum is 500?
I did. Yes.
Australia, get your act together.
Yes.
Anyway, but this isn't another B12 episode I've done.
But I wouldn't hesitate to supplement if I needed to.
If you needed to, yes.
I don't see any problem with that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, I'm actually curious to see because I've had now 6 injections and tomorrow I'm going along the doctor to order a blood test and see what effect 6 injections has had. So I'll be very curious to see how much higher than 198 I am. And geez, I hope it's right up there because 6 injections should have done something.
Should have.
So I feel them after I get them. Like, you know, I actually feel it's going through. It's really strange through the arm and then the next day I'm like, Instead of just like, okay. So
there's probably more to that story, but we won't.
There is, but we've already crossed the boundaries by mentioning breast, so we won't try and push it too far.
That's right.
So, Awesome, your friend Awesome says my blood tests always come back fine. Also, that's excellent. That is great.
She's very healthy looking as well too.
Excellent, excellent. Now, with about 10 minutes to go, I want to ask you a little bit about you. You have an animal rescuing family.
Yes.
Yes.
We
so
have,
your youngest son, Sean.
Yes.
He's
a
carer.
Registered and trained rescuer and carer. Yes. Yeah. And our house has been an absolute menagerie forever. We have the least amount of animals at the moment that we've ever had because the show is taking up so much time.
You've actually got a small sanctuary there.
We have, yes. So we're down to 4 or 5 pythons and an eastern long-necked turtle who's 50.
50-year-old turtle, folks. What do you reckon about that? And 4 or 5 pythons.
Yes.
Yes. Wow.
Yes.
And yes, your girls have grown up with handling snakes. They're used to snakes.
That's right. Absolutely.
So
all comfortable with animals.
Wow.
And we don't restrict ourselves to native animals.
No.
We rescue any animal that needs help.
Yeah. Okay. We were before we went live. We were doing a comparison of some of the animals that we've encountered, mainly the native animals, and it was pretty much the same. Because with me living on acreage and with you living on a larger block and having the ability to care for animals, you've had snakes, turtles, possums, wallabies, bandicoots, turkeys. And water dragons. Actually, that's something I don't normally get. Water dragons, but
they're wonderful animals.
Yeah,
water dragons, wonderful.
Yeah. You had a water dragon. What, lived for 15 years?
The water dragon was 15 when he passed recently, and he was bonded with the turtle. With the
50-year-old turtle.
Yeah, and a blue tongue lived with them as well. And so I've got wonderful photos of the water dragon would sit on the turtle's shell, and the blue tongue would wrap herself around the shell, and they basked like that every single day.
That is amazing.
Yep, and they were just totally bonded together. They didn't seem to realise they weren't the same species.
I want to see those photos. You'll have to send them to me or something. I want to share them on my page. I've never come across anything like that. It's incredible. So we'll just jump back now to Chefs in the Raw again. So the future? You've got 4 episodes you're going to film over 4 weeks.
Yes.
You said?
Yes.
And then hopefully. Fingers crossed, maybe we'll see it on national TV.
Absolutely. So the sponsorship approach has just begun.
Yep.
And so my elder son, Drew, is the executive producer of the show. He works in the industry, and so he's the best person to do the job.
Yes, it's not what you know.
No, absolutely, it's not. It's who you know.
Yeah.
So he's beginning his approaches in the next week or so. He's been busy this week putting together the proposal, and he will approach the big end of town for the TV format, and some smaller companies for the online version of the show.
Oh, look, I just fingers crossed.
Thank you.
It deserves to. It's very professionally presented. It deserves to get on the big screen so that people that wouldn't normally see it will see it.
That's right. We're aiming it at a general audience.
Yeah.
Vegans, of course, will love it because we're coming up with just amazing food, and the website provides the recipes. The website provides the nutritional information, so you can go to the website and get everything you need. But we want to show pre-vegans that their journey, their transition journey, will be smooth and easy. They won't miss out on anything.
Yeah.
In fact, they'll probably put on with some weight.
Now, you've discovered that you've been up the Gold Coast a couple of days.
Yes.
Yes, and you've discovered that we're talking about food and putting on weight. You've discovered that we have some wonderful vegan eateries up here,
absolutely.
Don't we? How does it compare to Sydney?
You're better off.
Yeah,
you're better off than we are.
Okay.
And we actually, as a family, come once a year.
Yeah.
And for all of the rest of the year, we discuss our food tour around the Gold Coast. And
I can imagine if I lived in Sydney, I'd be that excited about discussing coming up.
We really do.
Yeah.
We really do.
Yeah.
And so for all the year we say, okay, the first night we get up there, we're going to Tian Ran, which we did, of course,
yeah. So,
and overate horribly.
I want to do a shout out to Tian Ran because they are very well priced.
They are well priced.
Their food is consistently really good all the time.
Awesome food.
It's just sweet. The sweet and sour mock pork is amazing.
That's what Damien, my partner, has.
It's just, isn't it fantastic?
Yes.
It's just, wow.
Yes.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And so many other fantastic dishes there.
And not only that, but the guy that served us.
Oh, I've forgotten his name.
Tall guy.
Yes, he's been
lovely
Oh,
guy.
he's been there for years.
Yeah,
I've forgotten his name.
And he directed us to Love Child.
To Love Child, and you got to discover Love Child for the first time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And we're customers of Gigi's in Sydney, but we're completely neglected as a gluten-free group in Sydney, and so I overate horrendously with their gluten-free pizza. Which
because for those that don't know, Love Child is a vegan collective with 6 eateries all combined together and a bar at the rear deck.
Yeah.
And Gigi's, it's their first Gold Coast location, and it's all gluten free.
Yes, so it's amazing. It's wonderful. So as soon as we have some money, we'll be coming up to film on the Gold Coast.
Really?
Oh, that is my first stop once we've got some money.
Because there's so much potential here.
So much.
Do it, yes.
So we have breakfast at Girikana.
Girikana, yes.
And we eat so much at Girikana that other places are missing out on our money because we can't eat again until the evening.
It's such a good problem to have, isn't it?
It's a wonderful problem.
It's just amazing. Where do you think we're going to go? Like, I mean, the world where we're at now in 2018, as far as vegan awareness, is pretty impressive. Where do you think we're heading?
So impressive. I've seen the future, and it is vegan. It is.
I love it.
There's no other choice.
True.
Animal agriculture is unsustainable going forward.
Yeah.
We've got people like Richard Branson and Bill Gates pouring millions of dollars into the faux meat industry.
Yes.
And it's my understanding from the research I did related to sponsorship for the show that in America, the people working with shares are actually advising their clients to not put money into animal agriculture.
Really?
But to put money into sustainable production, but in the production of plant-based foods.
That is fantastic.
Which says it all. They have their finger on the economic pulse of the world, and they're advising their clients to not put money into animal agriculture.
That's actually another way that things can change fairly rapidly through that sort of information being given out.
Absolutely.
And that direction being pushed on people. Wow, that's really interesting.
Well, Richard Branson has estimated that it'll only be 30 years before the majority of the Western world is vegan.
Yes. Well, I hope it's less.
That would be good, but that is an amazing...
Well, it's still, we're getting closer and closer to the tipping point. Once we get to the tipping point, it will change rapidly.
Yes.
Your friend Awesome says, Chefs in the Raw is such an important show. Hope to see it on national TV in the near future. Yes. Yep.
Thank you.
We've got to get, so everyone's got to get onto YouTube and like it and share it and create an awareness of it. And then, that'll possibly help in the process as well.
It will absolutely help. We understand that Netflix has an interest in a show like that.
Oh, okay.
But they look at traction. They look at numbers and traction on the internet. And so so liking, sharing, reposting is what will help us get it to the really big areas of media.
Okay.
So that is what we need.
Okay,
we need vegan power.
Vegan power.
Yes.
Vegan power.
Yes.
So let's use the vegan power and get Chefs in the Raw happening so that the end result is that pre-vegans will get a chance to to see it and hopefully be influenced positively through food activism.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to pinch that from you, Harry.
Food activism.
I love it.
I think of one really good example of it actually in practice, because we're nearly out of time, so I'm going to start winding up shortly. But Greenhouse Canteen. You're familiar with Greenhouse Canteen? You haven't eaten there yet?
No, I have eaten there many times.
Okay.
Just saving it.
Just
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Good.
Yes.
Oh, actually, they'll be open. Yeah.
Yes.
So friends of mine were dining out at Greenhouse Canteen, and they were sitting next to a table of diners that weren't vegan, from what they could tell.
Yes.
And they were listening, overhearing the conversation, and there were comments coming back like, "Wow, this food is so good, we could go vegan." They were saying things like that.
Absolutely.
And they were so excited to hear these people saying it that they were messaging me the comments.
Isn't that wonderful?
As they were saying it.
Yes.
They're going, "Can't believe what we just heard. You want to hear this? This is great. You should be here." You know.
Yes.
So that's food activism.
I get comments like that from some of my crew.
Who are pre-vegan.
Who are pre-vegan.
Yes. Yeah.
And they get to try what we're making, and that's the conversation on set while people are wolfing down the food and saying, if this is what vegan food is like, why wouldn't you be vegan?
Exactly.
And that's the bottom line.
And that's pre-vegan saying that.
That's pre-vegan.
Well, that's pretty close to being fully vegan then.
That is.
That's impressive.
It is.
So I think I'm going to have to start winding up. Is there anything you wanted to throw out at the end here before I...
I'm very happy to take suggestions as what type of food people would like to see. I have posted the question on Facebook, so anybody who has some great suggestions, I'm also considering a viewers recipe segment where people can send us their recipes, and we will make them and give them a shout out.
Excellent.
So please.
There's some homework.
Yes.
You got some vegan homework.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, so I think I'm going to toss that. Goodbye. Got rid of that piece of paper. It's annoying me. I've completed all my tasks. So I want to say a big thank you, Trish, for not just for being on the show, but just for being vegan for 61 years, because the difference you've made, and for doing Chefs in the Raw and that is fantastic. Now, I also want to mention, while I think of it, that this episode will be on YouTube. As I said at the beginning, will be on YouTube within 2 days if I get my act together. And what else? Oh, our sponsors. Remember to support our sponsors, my sponsors, Vegan Frothers, in the background there for all your cruelty-free clothing. So, this has been episode 15 of the Vegan Hour. And not next week, in 2 weeks' time, with episode 16, I'm talking to vegan nutritionist and international nutritional speaker, Sandra Kimler. So that will be on Tuesday, July the 24th. So join us then. And Karen says, thanks, Harry and Trish. I want to say thank you to everyone that's been watching for your comments, and make sure you share anything to do with Chefs in the Raw and create awareness. And thank you very much. And the Vegan Hour will see you in 2 weeks' time. And thanks.
Thank you, Harry, and thanks to my friends and relatives. I can see all your names there. Thank you very much for your support. Love you all.
Thank you. Live vegan and save lives. Woohoo! Good night, folks.